I KO's Grimmsnarl. I KO Smeargle. I can get Calyrex in, and I can psych up their Miraidon. How fun is that? They can still click Icy Wind into me with Lantern, but, you know, I'll make them actually do the work. Start getting rid of this Lantern. There we go. Didn't even need to copy my own boosts. I got the numbering wrong last time. That was number 43. This is number 44. This far into the series, these things happen. Yeah, I can't think of much to do with Lugia except multi-scale, Calm Mind, Aeroblast, probably Earth Power, Recover, probably, or maybe Roost is better than Recover because it turns off some of its weaknesses. Does it still get Roost? It does not. Okay, so Recover it is. Probably Terra Fairy. And my instinct is Leftovers. I know some people run Covert Cloak on Calm Mind Lugia because Snarl kind of ruins your day if you don't. But I think the recovery is valuable. This is probably it. Maybe there's something to be done with a with a weakness policy set, taking advantage of Lugia's natural bulk, but that was kind of fun in Sword and Shield with Dynamax, but I don't know about this format. And then probably I want things like Grimmsnarl, Incineroar, Rillaboom, screens, fake out stuff. I don't know what the other restricted should be. Shadow Rider Calyrex could be fun. You know how Smeargle Muck teams? You see me, if you watch this channel, you've probably seen me face the Smeargle and the Alolan Muck teams where Muck sets up with Minimize. And then, Muck sets up with Minimize, and then it gets its Power of Alchemy ability, copies Moody from Smeargle, so it gets other boosts as well. A lot of those teams in this format run restricted Pokemon with Psych Up to copy the Muck's boosts. So Lugia and Shadow Rider Calyrex are good examples. I don't think I want to run Smeargle Muck in this series. I could with Lugia, but I don't think I want to. But I could still run Shadow Rider Calyrex as the other restricted, and with Psych Up just to copy Lugia's Calm Mind boosts. That actually I think is kind of a reasonable idea. And then, like I said, probably something like Grimmsnarl, Rillaboom, Incineroar, and then what goes well with those and gives this team a little bit of credible physical offense? Probably this guy. That's the way I'm leaning right now. Again, if I don't run Covert Cloak Lugia, I do have some trouble dealing with Snarl. Also, opposing Incineroar is an issue. Opposing Incineroar is a big issue, except that I have this. But I could consider running some kind of Defiant Pokemon. Is there anything good that gets Defiant? I could run Galarian Zapdos. That would help with Incineroar. I could run Annihilate. Could bring back Teal Mask Ogerpon. Or I can just, you know, do my best with this. Incineroar is tricky because it can remove the leftovers, but it can beat it with Earth Power and Aeroblast, right? Even if it terrestrializes most of the Tera Bug. And with Fairy typing, it doesn't do too much damage with Knockoff. And it's just Snarl that's an issue. I'm going to take advantage of Snarl users would be nice. I don't think Lugia is going to show up in Top Cut Explorer, but I'll just check Bologna. There's no Lugia. I might as well check the others. I don't expect any Lugia. Utrecht. No Lugia. Melbourne. No Lugia. Santiago. No Lugia. That's what I expected. It's not a Pokemon that sees tournament success very often. I can look at Munch stats and see what its common teammates are. 0.11% usage. Most common restricted partner is Zamazenta. That makes sense. That's a Pokemon that is also good at sitting on the field for a while. It covers some of Lugia's weaknesses. It complements these guys. Zamazenta might be better than Shadow Rider Calyrex here, actually. I just like the idea of copying the Calm Mind boosts, but what gets Psych Up? Is there some other Psych Up user I can use to keep that idea alive? Dialga, Lunala, Mewtwo, Palkia. For non-restricteds, anybody really catch my interest? Cresselia, but that's just doubling down on kind of the same thing, right? Pheasantipity. Hey, Pheasantipity will feature in this series eventually. Monkey Dory. Yeah. Maybe Psych Up isn't the way. Maybe Zamazenta is the best answer. Shadow Rider Calyrex does show up as a common restricted teammate, but look at that, it's right behind Alolan, Muck, and Smeargle, so that's those teams in action. Weakness Policy actually the most common item on Lugia right now, so maybe Weakness Policy Lugia has more going for it than I thought, but I think I want Leftovers. I feel pretty strongly about that, I think. I could also consider Cornerstone Mask Ogre Pond to redirect Spores. I saw Safety Goggles in that list of items, but I think if Lugia gets Spored in this video, we just live with it. But I do think a switch to Zamazenta instead of Shadow Rider Calyrex actually makes a lot of sense. I just think it could be fun to copy those Calm Mind boosts, you know? I'm gonna keep Shadow Rider. If it makes the team worse, so be it. That kind of thing is acceptable in this series. Psych Up. I'll make it the third move slot. Astral Barrage. Psychic. Psych Up. Protect. I think Zamazenta is probably more optimal, but I think we might be able to have some fun with Shadow Rider. Light Clay stuff, Assault Vest stuff, Safety Goggles stuff, Choice Scarf stuff. We don't... You've seen this a million times. I can skip over it. Let's go. Alright, here we go. I don't remember how long it's been since I last used Lugia. This kind of feels like a Reg G team with a second restricted Pokemon grafted onto it, but if I get to copy some Calm Mind boosts, that could make for some fun games. I don't know how likely it is to actually work out. Grimmsnarl has Thunder Wave instead of the Parting Shot I ran last time. Because this team doesn't have much speed control. In fact, that's its only speed control. I guess Choice Scarf or Shifu is kind of speed control. And max speed Shadow Rider Calyrex, but you know what I mean. And full paras could create some room for Lugia to set up, just as Fake Out Pressure can. These three are meant to pivot around like they do. Incineroar. Safety Goggles. I don't know much Spore immunity on this team. Otherwise, pretty typical stuff you see often on this channel, apart from the Psych Up, Shadow Rider Calyrex. And the EV spreads are very simple, but one thing I did do was stick close to multiples of 16, so that most of these Pokemon, not this one, and not this one, because they mostly just have offensive investment, but otherwise these Pokemon should be making the most of grassy terrain recovery, and also leftovers in Lugia's case. Lugia, of course, is likely to terrestrialize in a lot of games, and turn into a fairy type, so it will get to make use of grassy terrain as well after terrestrializing. So I built Calm Mind Lugia, and immediately I run into a Ting-Lu. That's interesting. Archelon, Sableye, Murkrow, Kyogre, Ting-Lu, Miraidon. What is going on this ladder these days? It could be Screen Sableye. Could also be Thunder Wave, Will-O-Wisp, Fake Out, Gouache, who knows. But I mean, I just want to set up Calm Mind Lugia. That's what this team is about. I'll do it with Grimmsnarl. I could do I could lead Rillaboom. Then if they lead Miraidon, I change the terrain immediately. If they lead Kyogre, I have an offensive threat into it. I think it's a little bit better here. I might not even bring Grimmsnarl to this one. If I get some Calm Minds, they don't really have physical offense. Well, they don't have much. It could be Fissure Ting-Lu, which actually is a problem if I terrestrialize Lugia, which I probably will be pressured to do early on. Also, Lugia has a problem with Taunt from Sableye, if they're running that, or Murkrow. Yeah, this actually could be pretty rough. I'll bring Calyrex, might need the offense, and I'll bring Urshifu, because I can threaten Ting-Lu with that, and maybe even take advantage of my opponent's rain. They lead Sableye Ting-Lu. Again, if it's Fissure Ting-Lu, It can't hit Lugia now, but it can if I Terrasilize. But I don't think, even though these are dark types, I don't think I'm really pressured to Terrasilize Lugia right now, so I'm not going to. I'll just throw a Wood Hammer at Ting Lu. They could switch our Chaladon in. I swear I had the thought to say that before I actually clicked the button. This could give them a stamina boost. Yeah. But I still think that's not the end of the world. I still have multi-scale intact. I'm still not going to Terrasilize Lugia right now. It could be Encore Sableye. It could lock me into Calm Mind. But even then, I can probably make it through the Calm Mind turns. The Chaladon's... I'm going to get rid of Sableye if they let me. Okay, they burn Rillaboom. It is Will-O-Wisp Sableye. Well, that's good to know. That's potentially important for Urshifu in the back. It's Dark Pulse or Chaladon. Didn't see that one coming. Didn't do a whole lot into the... I'm supposed to have Protect and not Recover on Lugia, aren't I? I goofed that one thing up. I don't know why I thought Recover. Because it would be nice to Protect here and get multi-scale back, but I don't really think it's important. I do think I will go right ahead and make that change for next game. Part of the point of having leftovers in grassy terrain is that Lugia doesn't need Recover to be healthy. Yeah, we just missed the KO on Sableye thanks to the burn, but that Dark Pulse, even after multi-scale is gone, still not doing much. They knock off Lugia, though. So it might actually be for the best that I have Recover in this game. And in fact, I think I'm down to click it here. I don't need to. I can Calm Mind again. Grassy Glide Sableye. Little KO. The Sableye showed Light Screen, Will-O-Wisp, and Knockoff. We can reasonably guess that it probably has Reflect, although they never clicked that. Oh, they could taunt Lugia here. But I'm going to hope they don't. That's my plan here. Hope they don't taunt Lugia. I'm just going to throw a Wood Hammer at Murkrow. I might as well... It has Haze. Okay, Recover Lugia might actually be clutch here. Yeah, I might as well get damage on Murkrow before... You know, it could have Thunder Wave or something before I throw my Urshifu at it. Terrain's gone. I might want to reset that, actually. Maybe I can just go Urshifu here. But I don't think I want to. I think I just keep attacking with Rillaboom until they knock it out. And then hopefully I'm positioned to do something. If they're going to click Foul Play into Lugia, you can see it's not doing amazing damage, but I might want to Terrasilize at this point. I think I'm okay with that. It makes me weak to the Flash Cannon, but our Chaladon doesn't seem very strong, to be honest. I don't have priority on Grassy Glide, so no reason to click it here. But if it's Fissure Ting Lu, they can now Fissure Lugia. Yeah, I'll go straight to Urshifu. What I'm looking to do is knock out the Murkrow before it hazes me again. Well, it has Prankster, so I can't deny haze if they go for that this turn. But if they don't go for that this turn, then I can look to knock out Murkrow before they do go for it again. Okay, they went for it. Our Chaladon turned off its Surging Strike's resistance, and of course Surging Strikes will ignore defense boosts. Because it always crits. They didn't bring the restricted Pokemon. That's been clear for a while, but I only just realized. They didn't bring Kyogre or Miraidon. I don't know what this person was cooking. But I think it needed more time in the oven, to be honest. Okay, maybe Recover Lugia was the call, because it actually is, yeah, pretty valuable in this game. Get rid of our Chaladon there. I don't think Calyrex beats Ting Lu. Oh, they have Snarl. I don't think Calyrex beats Ting Lu, but I wouldn't bet that Ting Lu beats Lugia. Although them having Snarl is actually a problem. Let's see if I can crit. Do I lose to Ting Lu now? They did a good job hiding the Snarl until that moment. An Aeroblast... Oh, that was an Aeroblast crit just now, so an Aeroblast crit does not win this turn. But damage on Ting Lu is good. It doesn't have any recovery. Yeah. Alright. Lugia wins it from here. That was a weird game. But let's move on to the next one. I don't have recover on Lugia anymore. We'll see if that changes actually a throw in some of my games. Is the ladder just kind of dead right now? Who knows? Groudon, Miraidon, Watermane, Incineroar, Bronzong, Jumpluff. So Jumpluff Sleep Powder is a problem for Lugia. Otherwise, Lugia just laughs at Groudon, except I might have to Terrasilize Lugia to deal with Miraidon. Jumpluff Sleep Powder is an issue. Like, I think I'm probably okay if I just do something like Grimmsnarl, Lugia, Incineroar, Calyrex. That means I don't bring Rillaboom. Maybe I want Rillaboom more than I want... I don't know what. I'm gonna try that mode, actually. I can maybe stall out their terrain as well. Or no, stall out their sun and then have Calyrex, that's what I mean, and have Calyrex faster than Fluttermane. And an offensive threat into that, which could be important here. Jumpluff Groudon lead. Yeah, so I'm afraid of Sleep Powder into Lugia, but there's not much I can do about it, but there's not much that they can do to threaten Lugia, I think, in this position. I'll just click Calm Mind, and I'll click... honestly, maybe Light Screen, because I think I'm more afraid of Miraidon and Fluttermane in the back than I am of Groudon in my face right now. So if I only get one screen, I think I'd prefer it be Light Screen. The Terra Dark, the Jumpluff, I guess anticipating a taunt. I don't have that, so that's just not a great use of their Terra this game. But fair enough, they didn't know. They said Tailwind. Lugia gets a Calm Mind. I can go for another one. Or I can just... I can slow down here. I can Protect. Kill a turn of Sun. Get a little bit of Leftovers recovery. I can go for Reflect here. They go Incineroar. Oh, they can knock off Lugia after this. They went for Encore. Oh, they have Encore. Ooh. I was worried about the wrong thing. I mean, I can pivot Lugia out to Incineroar. There's not that much lost if I do that. I think it's better than being locked into Protect. I'll go for Spirit Break and a Jumpluff. They can't... Oh, they can Encore Grimmsnarl. They don't have Prankster. They're just fast. Well, they might do that, but if not, that's Spirit Break into this Dark type now. I know it's -1, but damage is damage, right? They tried to Encore... the Lugia slot again? That must be what they just did, right? Anyway. Incineroar doesn't have safety goggles anymore. They can Sleep Powder it, but the way they're playing, I don't know if they have Sleep Powder. I think I'm good to go for a knockoff into this slot and just another Spirit Break into the Jumpluff slot. They switch in Groudon, okay. Parting Shot into Grimmsnarl. Who's coming in? I wouldn't mind seeing Jumpluff. I can get rid of its item. And those Sun turns are ticking down, and they just brought Groudon in, so it becomes awkward for them to set the Sun back up. They could have Sunny Day on Jumpluff, but still awkward. I do think I have to get Incineroar off the field here, though. Maybe not. I do have Reflect up, and they could always miss their Precipice Blades. But I don't think there's much downside to just switching back to Lugia and clicking Spirit Break into Jumpluff. They go Incineroar. Okay. Alright, Precipice Blades connects with Grimmsnarl. Is it Helmet Incin? Doesn't look like it. But now there's no Sun. They have to switch Groudon out if they want it back. I think I'm down to go back to Incineroar here and Spirit Break the Groudon slot. See if I can catch Jumpluff on the switch. It's Clear Amulet Groudon, that's good to know. I get Miraidon on the switch instead. Obviously Grimmsnarl's taking a bunch of Intimidates, but the special attack drop is nice. Yeah, that's very good. I think I'm down to knock off the Miraidon slot now. I'd like to switch back to Lugia, but I don't really want Lugia to take a Volt Switch or something. I mean, it's in multi-scale range, it's not the end of the world. But I think I'd rather just Spirit Break again. There's the Volt Switch. Who's coming in? Groudon. So I get rid of the Clear Amulet here. They don't quite KO Grimmsnarl. Oh, they do with burn damage. That's unfortunate. My screens are getting pretty close to fading, and I'm not going to be able to get them back up. But what can you do? Sometimes the positioning is just a little awkward. I guess I'll go Lugia here. I guess I'll Terra Fairy. It means that they can hit me with Precipice Blades, but I think it's more important to cover for the knockoff. Also, I can potentially burn Groudon if they let me. Still have Reflect for a couple more turns. So Precipice Blades does not KO Incineroar. They get rid of Lugia's leftovers. I have no way to heal Lugia in this game, unlike last time. There's just nothing anymore. So I might just be too far behind at this point to really pull this one out. I think damage into Incineroar is good here because I can maybe win with Calyrex if I get that. It could be Scarf Miraidon. Also, they do have the Sun back up, so Jump Bluff is an issue again. Yeah, I didn't get a knockoff into Miraidon, so I can't guarantee that my Calyrex is faster, but I get an Earth Power into Incineroar. That's good damage. Because, of course, Calyrex comes in next. There's their Miraidon. I guess I just have to click Astral Barrage and hope I'm faster. I can Protect through this turn, kill some Sun turns. But then, it's not really that useful unless I KO Groudon, so I think it's better to attack first and then Protect next turn. Okay, they switch Groudon out. That's a good call by them. It is Scarf Miraidon. They knock out their own Incineroar. They also do a lot to my Calyrex, but now I get single target Astral Barrage into Earth Power, and yeah, Miraidon was probably their win con here. It's knocked out. They get Groudon back on the field earlier than they wanted. I can Protect. Yeah, Jump Bluff will be too slow when the sun wears off, so I can Protect to get through this turn. I don't have to worry about the Encore, I don't think. I think Astral Barrage next turn just wins. Jump Bluff is a Dark type, but it's taking a lot of damage. So that should be fine. Oh, Tailwind. Oh, Tailwind. They got me with Tailwind. I guess there was nothing I could do about that though, because that would go first, and then Groudon would go before Calyrex, right? I guess if I guess the best thing I could get there was I just attack and they miss Precipice Blades. But yeah, that's my bad. Jump Bluff probably doesn't have an attack though, so if I can just get rid of Groudon, they Encore Calyrex into Protect. It survives the Precipice Blades, but it is locked into Protect. That's a funny interaction. Protect went with neutral priority there because I clicked a move that had neutral priority. When you're encored, and when Encore forces you to repeat a move that wasn't what you actually clicked, you keep the priority of the move that you did click. So that's why Protect went after Precipice Blades. Unfortunately, I got the double Protect, so now this one will probably fail. But Lugia has used Aeroblast, so if they Encore it, it'll use that again. Rage Powder. Smart. I knock out Jump Bluff. Groudon is still here to threaten me. Actually, I just Protect and it drops the burn damage. GG. But they made a good effort to pull that one back. The burn into Groudon was definitely clutch. When did I do that? So they couldn't Terrafire the Groudon ever because they Terrasalized Jump Bluff early. I can only assume to cover for a Prankster Taunt on Grimmsnarl that I didn't have anyway, and that I don't think is super common on Grimmsnarl, although I don't actually know the stats. So I think they were hurt by their Terra choice there, even if I can see the reasoning behind it. But yeah, this turn here where Incineroar survived a Precipice Blades thanks to the Reflect and landed a Will-O-Wisp into Groudon meant that Groudon couldn't KO Lugia quickly enough in the endgame. So good job, Incineroar. As usual, arguably the real MVP. This person is a Galarian Weezing. Shadow Rider, Calyrex, Koraidon, Galarian Weezing, Incineroar, Walking Wake, and Chi-Yu. So Ability Shield Koraidon probably. That's good in a way. It means it doesn't hit as hard as the Life Orb set. Losing multi-scale when Weezing's on the field isn't great, but it's not the end of the world. I think the bigger problem is not having Prankster on Grimmsnarl. And this team doesn't have great ways to remove Weezing quickly. I think I lead Lugia. I think I lead Grimmsnarl. They might not lead Weezing. Calyrex in the back, and probably Incineroar. We'll see what this gets me. Koraidon, Weezing. Okay, they led Weezing. They can threaten Grimmsnarl immediately. They also can poison Lugia, which is not good for me. Maybe I needed to just lead my two restricteds and pressure Weezing immediately. I think that is better. It's just they had ways to cover for that. and I didn't know what they'd do. But yeah, I think Wheezing puts me in such a bad position. That actually was what I should have done. These run poison gas and not toxic usually, so at least the poison damage, you know, won't stack over time. I'm just gonna go for it. Terrifier, they just wipe out Grimmsnarl with a Flare Blitz. Even if I go Incineroar here, I don't get Intimidate, obviously, while neutralizing gas on the field. Weezing goes for Sludge Bomb, so it has a chance to poison Lugia, but it doesn't go for, you know, more likely poison with poison gas. I get my Calyrex here. I get the position that would have been better to have in the lead. I can just put pressure on Weezing immediately. Again, I wanted to not poison Lugia. I think at Team Preview I slept on how important it was to stop Weezing from poisoning Lugia. And so again, I would have been better served by a lead that put a lot more pressure on Weezing right away. Version of Calyrex is not what I like to see. Koraidon will be faster now, but I get rid of Weezing. I mean, I can protect Calyrex and Earth Power Koraidon, potentially. Walking Wake could have Snarl. That's actually a pretty serious threat. Actually, Walking Wake is really hard to deal with if it has Snarl. But I'm going to do what I said. I'm going to protect Calyrex and Earth Power Koraidon this turn. If they protect Koraidon, I can pivot to Incineroar next turn, and it's not great, but it's not the end of the world. Snarl Walking Wake might be the end of the world, though. If they have that, good for them. Okay, they break my multi-scale with Flame Charge. They do a Snarl. They miss Lugia, though. Their convictions weren't strong enough, but we'll see if that holds up. Shadow Rider Calyrex. Walking Wake takes out my Shadow Rider before I get to do anything else with it. Unless they miss Snarl into Shadow Rider. But I think I actually... What did I do with Shadow Rider last turn? I protected. This is not great. I would like to get Incineroar on the field outside of Sun, so that I can threaten a knockoff into their Calyrex. The problem is... actually, I think this works if I just go for a double protect here. Because then, even if I fail, I can bring in... I do get the double protect. I can bring... Even if I failed, I could bring Incineroar in next turn. Fake out the Walking Wake. Get out of Sun. Miss Aeroblast. It happens. Yeah, I just want to get rid of the Sun here. Like any good super villain. Hey, maybe they missed Snarl. They don't. But that's not really what I was counting on. I want to get Incineroar on the field outside of Sun. So that I can knock off the knock off the Calyrex. So I'm going to fake out Walking Wake this turn, cover for a protect on their Calyrex. I might as well click Calm Mind while I'm at it. And then I'm looking for knockoff into Calyrex next turn. They didn't protect, they have Encore. Oh, that's bad. Oh, that's really bad. They can lock Incineroar into fake out now. I know these run Encore sometimes, but I'm still getting surprised by it every time. I should be more, you know, clued in by now. At least they went for the Hydro Steam into Lugia, but I mean... Yeah, that Encore just kind of ruins my whole day, doesn't it? I guess I'll play this out. I don't know that there's any way that I can win this. If they just didn't have Encore, I think I played that pretty well, but... I'm just not properly covering for something that I know Shadow Rider Calyrex does run sometimes. Even though it's just not sort of the main thing I expect. I'm going to click Aeroblast into Calyrex, but they'll probably just force me into Protect again. Yeah. And there's the Hydro Steam into Incineroar, wipes it out with a crit. Alright, they got me good. I think my game plan made sense into any set other than this, but they didn't have any set other than this, so good for them. I could have just clicked... It's probably Sash Calyrex, though, so even if I just clicked Knockoff into it, right, then I would have to take two Hydros. I don't know. Showdown animations are doing something weird again. Alright, opponent, this KO is yours if you can take it. Yeah, they're just playing it super safe, which is understandable. That'll work out fine for them. Eventually I run out of PP, though. But I'm only halfway through my PP right now. They're doing the damage too quickly. Unless I luck into a triple protect or something. Maybe that's enough, I don't know. But I don't. Alright, GG. Good sets, hard for my team to deal with. Maybe Zamazenta would have helped here, but honestly I don't know how well that handles their Shadow Rider. Cool team. On to the next game. Oh. Well. This is some Wolf Glick stuff, but not his exact team. They did actually get a second restricted Pokemon onto this. This is a nightmare matchup, right? Because how do I set up Calm Mind Lugia into this? I don't, do I? Well, if it's very like Wolf Glick's team, then Koraidon can be intimidated. Let's try this lead. And honestly, I don't know if I even bring Lugia to this game. I mean, I don't know what Rillaboom necessarily does here either. Grassy Glide, Wood Hammer, Grassy Glide. Yeah, honestly, I think I leave Lugia behind. Maybe I'm loading up too much for the Perish Trap mode, but the Perish Trap mode just kind of hard counters Lugia, doesn't it? They actually just lead their restricteds. I do get Intimidates into both. This is just a really hard team to play against, I think, with what I've brought here. Eject Button Ho-Oh. What, does the Ho-Oh also have Spore, Rage Powder? Did they just turn Amoonguss into a bird? Right on. Imagine if I Psychic to that slot, but I didn't. Again now. But then maybe I just throw my Calyrex away for nothing. I can Terra Dark. I misclicked. It's okay. They faked out into a Ghost type. That's... I mean, I guess the read was not too difficult to make, but that's pretty slick play by them. Good job. It is always kind of exciting when you fake out into a Ghost type and you successfully read the Terra. I bet they feel good about that one. Nightmare matchup. I mean, obviously, I built my team here. So it having nightmare matchups is my own fault. But yeah, we found one. I'm just clicking buttons at this point. I don't even know why I made that play. I think what I'm doing is I'm just trying to kill turns to get Urshifu onto the field. But wait, to get Urshifu onto the field outside of Sun. The problem with that is... as long as they have Koraidon, they can set the Sun back up. That just wipes out Rillaboom. Already used my Terra. Couldn't really do much about that. Also, I don't want to bring Urshifu in on that because it has a 50% chance to burn. This just loses to Koraidon now. Unless... this is the last turn of Sun. If they leave Koraidon on the field, I do get Urshifu in briefly without Sun. And they have 3 fire types right now. So Surging Strikes outside of Sun should go crazy into their team. It's probably too little too late. Also, Koraidon will be faster with the Flame Charge boost. That's a huge problem that they clicked Flame Charge. A huge problem for me. Great for them. Also, they get Fake Out Pressure into Urshifu now, so... okay, they did leave Koraidon on the field at least. But yeah, Koraidon being faster than Urshifu here is just terrible for me. I think they fake out Urshifu and they close combat Calyrex, but really they close combat Incineroar, but that's also... oh, they actually did switch it out. Okay, they'll get their Sun back. Probably don't get to attack with Urshifu here, yeah. I don't think I get to stall out 5 turns of Sun again. Okay, I get the Surging Strikes into Koraidon here. Oh, they get a Brave Bird or Sacred Fire into Urshifu, though. Either one is bad. I also don't KO Koraidon. Oh, they went for Life Dew. That's also not good for me. Actually, Parting Shot into Ho-Oh would have been a pretty good play there, because then I could get Calyrex in, and Koraidon, because it switched out, is not faster than Calyrex anymore. So actually, I might still have a shot here. At least I think I'd have a better shot if I had clicked Parting Shot into Ho-Oh there. Anyway, I'll finally knock out the Koraidon. And hey, that is their main damage dealer. But again, I've left... They just Life Dew again. Wait, is there a chance? The biggest single threat is gone. Fluttermane is here. Sun boosted. I can go Incineroar. And Protect. I don't know what the plan is after that. They didn't even bring the Perish Trap mode. And I just fully didn't bring Lugia because I was afraid of it. That does so much damage. Well, they can only Moonblast one thing. They can fake out the other thing. Don't get the double protect. They get to fake out Calyrex. They also Moonblast it, though. So I do get a knockoff into Fluttermane. That breaks the, well, it removes the Focus Sash. The problem is I get Urshifu in a turn too early. They can they can go faster and Moonblast it now. Because sure enough, I didn't manage to stall out a second instance of Sun. Yeah, Urshifu... I don't know that Urshifu wins anyway, but I think there may have been a chance if the Sun had just ended one turn earlier. But, you know, my opponent positioned so that didn't happen. GG. Let's get another one. Lugia could have been pretty good here, huh? But the Perish Trap mode just completely scared me off of bringing it. I don't love bringing it into Miraidon and Lunala either, but I will. Hit Iron Tread, so after I Terra Fairy, they can get me with Steel Roller. Oh well. Lugia, Grimmsnarl. Rillaboom Incineroar. One restricted. Let's go. This definitely feels like a Reg G team with a second restricted grafted onto it. And no wonder you're not seeing that in tournaments right now. It just doesn't really hold up. But it can get some wins on the ladder still. Okay, they lead Incineroar and Miraidon. I am down to Protect and switch to Rillaboom because I don't want them to just knock out Grimmsnarl before I get any screens up. Take out Lugia, they Volt Switch Rillaboom. Perfect. Best case scenario, I think, for that turn. I guess best case would be I clicked Calm Mind and they also faked out the Rillaboom slot, but I don't know why they would do that. Rapid Strike or Shifu, much easier to handle than Single Strike. Maybe not, because Terra Fairy beats Single Strike. And doesn't really help into Rapid Strike, but... I mean, now I think I can Calm Mind. I'll Terra Fairy, Calm Mind. They might knock off my leftovers, but this will reduce the damage, and I'll get Grassy Terrain Recovery. And I'm down to just Grassy Glide this, or they might switch Miraidon back in, actually. To take away the priority on Grassy Glide, so it's probably more worthwhile to just Wood Hammer. They might U-turn, but... Oh, they switched Miraidon into that slot. Okay. Maybe I should have U-turned, actually. I think that would have been a little better. I just saw a very tempting target and got very tempted. Yeah, they knock off my leftovers. Probably worth preserving Rillaboom. The problem is, what do I You know, what do I sack then? Let's be patient here. I'll protect and I'll switch to Incineroar. I still want to be able to get screens up. Do I need Incineroar to beat Lunala though? I don't think I need it. It would be nice to have. I hope they don't knock out Incineroar this turn. Default switch Incineroar. Doesn't KO. I have a lot of special bulk. But I wouldn't want to do that, you know, 2 more times. Even 1 more time, really. Who's coming in? Urshifu? Is there Shifu? I can go Rillaboom. I am kind of losing initiative. I'm just kind of falling behind in the other slot, but I am slowly getting Lugia set up. They also U-turn in Sin. So now it's below half, but they get me right on back onto the field, so that's a pretty free switch to Lugia now. I mean Rillaboom. Pretty free switch to Rillaboom now. I want to attack this Urshifu, but I don't know if they'll let me. I'm clicking Aeroblast into that slot. Good chance I get punished for it. But it just would be nice to get rid of that thing. Terra Water. Okay, well I get an attack into it at least. That's so much damage. If I'll switch Rillaboom, they can get the terrain back after this. There's the Incineroar. Aeroblast. Crit would have been nice there with that boosted crit rate, but what can you do? They can fake out Insurging Strikes Lugia here. If they do that, then I can KO Rillaboom. That's why, even though you'd think I would have learned my lesson from earlier, I am going to Grassy Glide Urshifu here. That means they get the terrain back up. But yeah, I was thinking if they did fake out Surging Strikes into Lugia, that would be very threatening to me, obviously. But it would leave Urshifu open to being knocked out by Rillaboom. That's why I played that way. But they pivot. They make a smarter pivot around that is now just a nightmare for me to deal with. I think Lugia just takes too much damage too quickly to win this one. I'm also going to throw Grimmsnarl at them because I don't want to sack Incineroar when I haven't even seen Lunala yet. Yeah, that does so much. Miraidon will just KO now. Ugh. I don't want to play this out. It's not. There's no point. I don't have any way to beat Miraidon now. I have Spirit Break, but no, it never works. Okay, I got one more game. But yeah, Combine Lugia. Actually, what on? Well, okay. Combine Lugia actually could kind of work in Reg G. There were some fun teams with it. There may be fun teams to be found in Reg I with Combine Lugia. I definitely think Zamazenta could have helped into some of these matchups, and I did say that seemed like the more optimal partner, but I was hoping to copy Combine Boost with Shadow Rider Calyrex. I chose fun over practicality there. I haven't done that yet. Let's see if I can do it in this game. But yeah, that was screens. Screens can help me stall out the Trick Room shenanigans. So can this, and then Calyrex. But yeah, at least this style of Combine Lugia team definitely doesn't hold up in Reg I, and I think it would be hard to find one that can. Maybe someone like That's a +1 can do it. I know he's a big Lugia enjoyer. I haven't been watching a lot of VGC content lately. I just haven't been making time for it. It's why it took me a few days to watch a James Beck video, coincidentally just before the last episode of this. So maybe That's a +1 has made a good Reg I Lugia team and I just don't know about it. Okay, Miraidon or Ursaluna. I'm down to Air Fairy, On Mind. Reflect. Because Calm Mind will mitigate special damage, so we'll do this for physical damage. It's Calm Mind. Oh, it's Calm Mind Miraidon. Huh, that's a familiar face in these parts now. Well, we'll boost up alongside it and set light screen. Honestly, I don't hate my chances here. Especially when this might actually be a good game to do the Psych Up play. Although, I think Psych Up will also copy the lowered speed, right? So that's an issue. But hey, I get my boosts. I can Spirit Break Miraidon. Could be in a decent position here. Have screens. They don't have screens. Keep boosting up. This could be the game where I get to click the Psych Up. Oh, wait. If I leave Miraidon on the field, I can Psych Up into it instead of my Lugia, and then I don't copy the speed drops. That only works if I get rid of Smeargle, though. You think it's Decorate Smeargle? Yeah, I actually need to focus down Smeargle here. They fake out Grimmsnarl. Okay, Parabolic Charge damages their own Smeargle. That's actually really good for me. I KO's Grimmsnarl. I KO Smeargle. I can get Calyrex in, and I can Psych Up their Miraidon. How fun is that? They can still click Icy Wind into me with Lantern, but, you know, I'll make them actually do the work. Start getting rid of this Lantern. There we go. Didn't even need to copy my own boosts. Let's see that big Astral Barrage. It's only +2 though, because I landed those Spirit Breaks into Miraidon. Sabotaged myself a little bit with that one. But I have so much special defense that Parabolic Charge is like nothing. We know from experience that it's not a super strong attack. There's Ursaluna. I mean... That's not taking any hits. It protects. I probably should have read that one. Parabolic Charge is just doing so little damage. I mean, it adds up on Calyrex, right? Calyrex has no way to heal, but... Here, I'll click Calm Mind with Lugia and Psychic into Ursaluna. What do they have for it? Might as well get Lugia fully boosted. They're not going to play this out, though, and I don't blame them. I mean, in a Calm Mind War like this, they could always crit me. Right? In fact, I probably should have clicked Aeroblast into Miraidon. I should be trying to crit them before they crit me. But, there we go. I got my... That Lantern was really something. Surely there's something better that can sit on the field and spam Icy Wind. But I guess the upside of Lantern is it gets Volt Absorb, so you can heal it with your own Parabolic Charge. And help it sit on the field even longer. Plus, it's, you know, a Pokemon that you can safely click Parabolic Charge next to. So that's actually a pretty solid effort at finding a niche for Lantern. They really cooked with that one. That's a fun idea. And Lantern's a great Pokemon. I like it a lot. It's a shame that it's hard to find something good for it to do, but they might be, you know, they're at least making a good effort at it here. But there we go. We finally got our Psych Up Shadow Rider Calyrex game, even though I didn't click Psych Up into the target I originally expected. Very silly laddering session. I got a little frustrated at times with some of the matchups here. That's just Lugia's matchup spread in Regulation I to some extent, I think. But I had fun. And finally, Generation 2 shows up once again. Still 3 Gen 2 legendaries left out of 18 legendaries total on the wheel. We'll spin it again next time. We'll find out together what's next.